because Connor Mills is flashing his headlights. He's done all he can. Good evening, guys and girls, and welcome back to the Racing Line Touring Car Championship here on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and our partners VCO eSports YouTube and Twitch as well. Wherever you're watching from, thank you for joining us for round 7, the finale, races 19, 20 and 21 of the 2023 Racing Line Touring Car Championship. And we are heading to a new circuit that we haven't been to before, one of the newer circuits on iRacing. So you could say that this is probably the least practiced circuit by any of the drivers. Some of them buying it only this week. It is, of course, Magny Cours, the French circuit. Circuit de Nevers Magny Cours. Or as Andre Mayeret keeps telling me to say it, Magny Cours or Magny Cours, without pronouncing the G. But I refuse. Magny Cours is where we're at, and it's a beautiful circuit. It's a tricky one. There's a couple of slowdowns out there that need to be aware of, and an almighty hefty chicane in the final sector of the circuit. And boy, oh boy, do we have a finale for you. We've got plenty of stories to watch out for. Oh, pardon me. As we head into these final few rounds, that's just because I had a fizzy drink before I started. Who have we got in chat? Cackler's in chat already. Stephen Burns, I bought it 30 minutes ago to join the session. That's our live steward, Stephen Burns. You can see his name on the screen as well. It is the final round, and I normally do the sunset pun to keep Stephen King happy, as in the sun sets on the season today. But I believe it's 8 o'clock in the morning in session time, so maybe we will not see a sunset today. Don't forget to pop in chat, whether you're watching on VCO eSports YouTube or Twitch, or the Racing Line YouTube or Twitch. Please do jump in, say hello. Let us know who you're rooting for today as we head. Let's have a look at some of the cars driving round. Morgan Burkhardt currently the fastest out there. David Corpus is right up there in P3 for Lurch's Gaming in the Hyundai. We haven't seen him up there since the start of the season. Do I remind you, this is what it looks like throughout the season. Your RLTC schedule. This is what we've had, and we're into the final tonight, the final round 7. The qualifier at Rudskogen was to select our grid of 30 drivers, 10 teams of 3, a Hyundai, Audi and Honda in each team. Media Day, Virginia International Raceway in America, where I don't even remember who won Media Day, but it's not for points, it's just so they can start to get to know each other and start sussing each other out, and who is going to race with who. It never lasts just Media Day though. They end up trying to work each other out throughout the whole season. Round 1 took us to Phillip Island. It saw Stefan Scheller in the Audi, Jake Cranston in the Honda, and David Corpus in the Hyundai taking the first wins of the season. Race 1, 2 and 3. At round 2, Okayama, we had Burkhardt, Mould and Cranston taking the first double win of anyone at Okayama. And then we head to round 3, and this is where we see the, I was going to say resurgence, but that means he's coming back from something. What's the word I'm looking for? Where he's just come out of nowhere, comes out of the woodwork. He adjusts his driving style. He's used to racing everyone, and Fabian Sigmund absolutely turns on the taps. In round 3 Interlagos, Sigmund, first double winner of the season in one round. Sigmund, then Thurtle wins race 3 after crashing out in race 1 and basically coming from the back in race 2. Finishes P12, starts on pole, wins race 3. Great day for him. Round 4 at Canadian Tire saw Sigmund take 2 wins again out of the 3, with Dan Mould taking the race 2 victory. Round 5 at Silverstone National saw Sigmund taking 2 wins again, but Burkhardt taking the second victory. And then round 6, role reversal. It was Burkhardt taking 2 wins and Sigmund taking the second victory. It's an almighty season between those two. Slenderman on Twitch says surgence without the resurgence. Is that the word I was looking for? I don't know. But don't forget the special event on the 27th of March, which is next week, Monday, which is open to all of you guys. You need to sign up, though, so that I know you're going to show up. It's going to be the RLTC grid that you see racing tonight, and the other 30 cars are going to be our trusty friend, the Jetta, because we need to say goodbye to the poor thing that has been retired to the service. And in fact, if I just put this on your screen, as we've got 5 minutes left of practice, we're still in France. We head over to the Le Mans circuit. 2.4 hours of Le Mans. I understand that 2.4 hours is not 2 hours and 40 minutes, but to make it look aesthetic, It's going to be a 2 hour and 40-minute race. It is a solo race, no teams, but that big QR code on your left, if you scan that with your mobile device, it will take you to the sign-up form. Scan the little one, and it will take you to our Discord as well. Or you can just visit our website, theracingline.org, to join the Discord through that way. But scan the big QR code to sign up for the Volkswagen Jetta. There may be 5 spaces available in the TCR, but on that sign-up form, you can only sign up as a Jetta. Should have been a 4-hour race. 240 minutes is the most aesthetic. 4 hours is a long time for a solo Kakula. Come on. It needs to be doable, at least, and done in one night. It is a Monday, don't forget, but that will be streamed next week from 8 PM. I'm hoping to get those 30 Jettas filled up so that we can see an almighty 60-car grid, or thereabouts. Even 50 cars I'll be pretty happy with, and I'm sure all of you guys will as well. 3.5 minutes left of practice. Burkhard is currently the fastest with Anderson, only 2 thousandths behind in the Honda, and Corpus still up there, less than a tenth behind as well. It's looking close. We've got 23 drivers in the session, 7 drivers not making it today. Was that everyone that I counted earlier? No, it wasn't. There were 6 drivers that I counted earlier. And then, so the 7, oh, okay, I see. So the drivers missing today, we have Steve Halewood for ZFG and James Parfitt for All Sports Racing, who are serving their 35 penalty point race rest today. And then we have Dan Mould, who has COVID for SRL. Mark Draper wasn't here last week. He's not here this week for SRL either. So SRL is just after Thurtle today. Street Casuals is missing Henry Morse, who has been banned on iRacing for 1 more week for radio messages that shan't be repeated on this stream. Who else is missing? We have Roman Perschke for Team Husingveld is going on holiday, so he will not be making it today. And Jesus Amundre, I think, is working as well for Meatball Motorsport. So there's a lot of 2-car teams out there. The only 3-car teams we have today is Goldwing Motorsport, Lurchus Gaming, Team ORD, and Pulsus eSports, and that is important for your team's championship. So let's have a look at your current standings. As we see Carl Ridley flying off. And there we have it. Meatball Motorsport are currently in 10th place with 557 points. 2 cars versus 2 cars. Zero Forks Given in P9 aren't that far ahead and need to watch their backs. The purple cars and the red cars will be fighting it out back there for P9. Lurchus Gaming look to be safe there in P8. Goldwing also look to be safe in P7. That looks pretty secure for those 2 teams. Team ORD are also pretty safe in P6 with Street Casuals, and props to them because they have had they've had 2 cars for pretty much all of the season, and they are in P5 with 1,011 points, and the team ahead of them only has 1 car out on track today. So it's looking likely that Street Casuals will be moving up to take P4 in the team standings. But then you got your big 3, which usually is the big 2. But Team Husingveld joined the fray this season, and there we have it. We now have 3 teams fighting for that top spot, with only 12 points separating All Sports Racing and Husingveld there, and Pulsus eSports with 12.69 in P3. But 3 drivers for Pulsus eSports tonight, and 2 for the teams ahead. But All Sports Racing having 2 of the fastest drivers out there. But then again, so to Team Husingveld. It'll actually be a little bit of a farce, I think, if Pulsus eSports won this season from there. But they could still do it. But they would argue that maybe they didn't deserve it as much as before. Henry got an additional ban. He's reached levels of base that shouldn't be possible, says Andre Mayerek. Yes, he reached a... I think he got an iRacing ban for verbal issues, and then got caught racing a Smurf, and his ban got extended. He was meant to be back today, and we would have seen 3 of these lovely orange Street Casuals machines as we see Eric Manenfeld pull over. Jan Weiswanger's out there, though. Let's have a look at him in the beautiful meatball purple machine. And we're about to tick over into qualifying, where we can have a rundown of your championship standings and have a look at the battles that we are going to be watching today. And you can let me know in chat who you're going to be rooting for. I can see you all watching across all 4 channels. Don't be shy. Jump in chat and say hello. You might meet someone you've never seen before. I will read out your messages no matter what channel you've been posting it on, so that you can even communicate across the 2 YouTube and Twitch channels. As we see everyone start filtering out the pit lane right now. Love the pit lane cam in qualifying. You just listen to those engines come flying through. The pit limiter on, and there's one meatball car there. That is Stephen Fry, who is taking the smart route of waiting. If you have a look at your track map, Stephen Fry is now leaving. Mats Anderson has also waited a little bit, so he's looked for a gap. Kieran Dempsey has also looked for a gap. So 3 cars waited, and so they begin. But who is your lead driver? Look at Duncan weaving to warm up his tyres. Oh, look at that for a camera angle. Equal was off the circuit back there. Maybe warmed his tyres up a little bit too much. Oh, I really enjoyed that camera, way more than I should have. Look at Carl Ridley weaving his tyres away. It wasn't Equal it's gone off, he's now back into the pits. That's a nice camera as well. Magny Cours, what a circuit. Magna Cours. Look at these camera angles, that's what it is. Duncan Murray taking a lot of curb there. Let's follow David Corpus in the Hyundai, because I'm pretty sure, he's not the lead car. It is actually Stefan Scheller for Team Husikveld, but we'll stay with David Corpus for Lurchus Gaming and give him his moment to shine for the first time since his race win in round 1. It was David Corpus won race 3 in round 1. Slenderman says my mic is a bit low. That might be because I was turning my head away. Maybe. Let's turn the engines down a little bit, maybe. Let's see if that's better. Where are we on this circuit? I don't even know my way around this track that much. Oh, we're coming into the final chicane now. This is the chicane I told you all about with the massive curves. Look at the bounce. Bounces over those curves, and now we start our first flying lap of the session. We'll go through the championship order very shortly, but first of all, let's go around Magny Cours for the first time in the racing line history. So it's a nice fast double left for turn 1, and then you got this long sweeping right-hander. 2 varying lines here from Scheller and Corpus. Scheller taking a really wide line to maximise his exit. Not sure if he got a 1x there. He did keep 2 wheels on the curb, so he should be okay. But Corpus opting to hold tight all the way along that right-hand side, and now they've got a long straight towards turn 5, and it's a heavy braking zone here into a really tight hairpin. We're going to see a few sends there and maybe even a few crashes. Look at how the Hyundai rotated around that curb. Stefan Scheller again taking a much wider line on exit, with Corpus taking a shallow line. And now here's where it gets dangerous. So we've got a fast S here where we probably won't see much racing, but if we do, it's going to get feisty. You can't cut that left or you will get a slowdown. Brake in, and then you've got this long left-hander, which it tightens on exit. It just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. You want to accelerate, but then you realise that the corner is still going, so you might have to hesitate and lift off because you just don't realise that you're going to cut the exit. Anyway, similar corner to the chicane before. A nice little gradient, hill up and down, back up again for this left-right chicane, or right-left chicane. Get over to the left-hand side for another hairpin. Flowing is this circuit. Fairly easy to do this hairpin. Get straight back on that power. Front wheel drive machines pulling their way down these straights. And now we're entering the final sector. Final section of this lap. Only needs a few more corners, does Corpus. We've got one more sort of hairpin, a fast-ish hairpin, as Scheller goes a little bit wide, loses his rear, and now you've got the chicane. Bumps over that first right curb, smooths over the left and across the line, and Sigmund, who is behind Corpus right now. There he is. If we look under the rear wing of the Lurchus Hyundai, Sigmund is currently on pole position with a 49.2. Burkhard Cranston for All Sports Racing slotting to 2nd and 3rd. Corpus is in 4th, and Scheller, who led the way, is currently in 5th, with Martin Wallace in P6 and John Bailiff P7. Dan Thornton goes into P8 currently. And that is that, isn't it, for now? Matsborg Anderson jumps up into P2 with his clean track. He did wait for that. Now, what did I say? We're going to do the championship standings. Let's have a look at overall. And this is what your championship looks like right now as of this final round. Henry Morse is in P30 with Yuzu Samundere in P29 and James Parfitt in P28. That is set, as none of them are here today. 27th for Alejandro Caraday for Lurchus Gaming. Jan Weisfanger just ahead of him. They will be fighting for that position. Brandon Hughes in 25th. Duncan Murray, Dan Thornton. Mark Draper, who is not here today, will be passed by a few of those drivers behind. Martin Wallace in 21st with Ike Lequay breaking into the top 20. Just 1 point behind Joseph Gibson. So keep an eye on Ike Lequay and the Audi of Joe Gibson as well, because they are fighting for that position. Steve Elwood is not here today. Kyle Ridley is in P17 with Roman Persky also not here today, so Kyle will be looking to jump up into P16. Stephen Fry is here today. He's in P15, entering that top half. Davy Corpus looks quick today. He's currently in P14, looking to chase down Sam Van Olst in P13. Kieran Dempsey is now up into P12. 60 points, 60 odd points behind Dan Mould. Can he gain another position with Dan not making it today? Dan Mould was in P11, nearly breaking that top 10, and Eric Mannenfeld has broken the top 10 with 417 points. Ahead of him is John Bailiff, so those two are fighting it out for the Hyundai spots. Stefan Scheller is in P8 with 452. Just ahead of him is Arthur Thurtle. And then we get to the tight Honda battle of Stephen King, Matt Sanderson, Austin Farr, and Jake Cranston, who seems to have claimed the Honda Championship with that gap. He's got about a 50-point gap, 48 points to be exact. He's currently in P3 in the standings, but Austin Farr and Matt Sanderson are even on points, both of them in the Honda. Stephen King 2 points behind, also in the Honda, and Arthur Thurtle 459 also in the Honda. Fabian Siegmann and Morgan Burkhardt, your championship rivals though. 621 points for Morgan Burkhardt, 583 points for Fabian Siegmann. That is a total of 38 points, I think, if my maths is correct, between those two drivers. Can Morgan outscore Fabian can Fabian outscore Morgan by 38 points today? It's not unheard of, but I think he's going to need some sort of divine intervention for that to happen. Hopefully none of the drama we saw last time out. Your manufacturers championships, we've got 3 minutes left of qualifying. Burkhardt and Siegmann currently your top two, but this is your Honda standings. This is what it looks like in just manufacturer standings. So Jake, Austin, Matt, Stephen and Arthur there, your top five, but P2 well up for grabs in the Honda Championship. Jake Cranston though looking to have secured the top Honda. Roman Persky, Duncan Brandon, Jan and Alejandro round off your Honda Championship. Into the Hyundai standings, it looks like this. Morgan Burkhardt and Fabian Siegmann fighting it out for the top spot, but Eric Mannenfeld and John Bailiff fighting it out for P3. Let's see who comes out on top in that. Dan Mould, Corpus, Fry, Ridley and Wallace and Dan Thornton round off your field. Can Corpus gain 100 odd points to try and pass Dan Mould for the top five in the Hyundais? Only time will tell. It's not unheard, it's not impossible, but he will have to score a few podiums today, and he's currently third on the grid, so it could be done as long as he doesn't crash. But let's see what happens. Finally, your Audi standing. Stefan Scheller, I think, deserves a congratulations already, because there's no way that gap will be closing today. Stefan Scheller, your Audi champion for the manufacturers. Kieran Dempsey is now up into P2. He's past Sam Van Olst. That battle will be continuing. Steve Hellwood, P4 in the Audi standing, so it's a great job from him for ZFG. Joe Gibson is P5, who will be looking to close that gap today and pass that to P4. Ika Lequay in P6, Mark Draper P7, James Parfitt uses Monroe and Henry Morse round off your Audi Championship, and that is pretty much your standings. Who are you rooting for today? Mats Borg Andersen has jumped up into P2 once again. Siegmann is now down in P3. The Husingveld machine coming through the final sector. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds left before we get underway with our 3 races today for the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega. If you're ever going to buy GT Omega stuff, don't forget to use your discount code TRL5 for 5% off, and it is usable during their sales. I'll tell you who is a shock qualifier at the moment. Well, he's not actually out on track, so I can't show you Arthur Thurtle. I think he's gone back to the pits. I think his qualifying is done. Dan Thornton has just been passed by Brandon Hughes, who's just gone up into 18th place. He's going to pull over. He's had enough. Is anyone else going to cross the line? Siegmann does, and he goes 4/10 quicker than Morgan Burkhardt to take pole position with 30 seconds to go. Can Burkhardt improve? I think he's already crossed the line, or has he? And he doesn't improve. That might be it. 20 seconds left, and Fabian Siegmann takes pole position by a massive 4/10 of a second. That is insane. The gaps here looking larger than we've seen before because of all the corners. Jake Cranston though, P4. Corpus still up in the top 5. Stefan Scheller, Fabian's teammate, up into the top 6. Could be able to help from there. I just used that discount code and it works. Very nice, yes, says Slenderman. Good. I'm glad it works. Anyway, did have a few issues with discount codes back in the day. I think we're going to change. I think they're changing how they use it now. We might have to use links from now on in the... Oh, no. That looks like a rolling start. Uh-oh. I've done a whoopsie. We've never done rolling starts in the Racing Line Touring Car Championship before. But we're going to try it today on the finale. At least we've seen the Porsche for the first time. Oh, no. Kakala's going to kill me. I might get some nice photos of everyone on the grid. Log into a blunder, says Still Basilisk. This is... Listen, Still. This is a big blunder. The drivers are going to be absolutely ripping it into me right now into Discord, because we have never done a rolling start before. There are no rules for this put in place. Mats has jumped into YouTube. Says, Jack in capital letters. It's the drivers that are going to kill you. Enjoy some pace car leading the pack photos. Oh. Oh. I don't want to rolling start. Rolling start should favour the non-Audis, says Andre Mayerek. Well, it's happening now. It's all 3 races are going to be a rolling start, which means we're all going to have to watch this lovely formation lap for all 3 races. Let's see what it looks like from... Is Arthur Thurtle still here, or has he had packet loss issues? Let's go on board Alejandro Caraday. RLTC powered by GTO Mega LOL, says Slenderman on Twitch. Yes, yes, yes. Slap it up. I'm sure there'll be memes about this in the Discord chat. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. Formation Lab will be the perfect time to advertise this once again. Scan that QR code to sign up to our celebration race next week. It is open to everybody. It is free. The Jetta is a free car. You do have to own Le Mans as a circuit. It's a 2-hour and 40-minute race. There will be pit stops. Still says, how much is the game? I don't know. I think it's on Steam. Have a look on Steam. I don't know what to expect with this, you know. A rolling start with that final chicane. Big crashes, potentially. So one of the longest circuits as well to have a rolling start on. Does give Arthur a chance to rejoin. I'll keyboard and mouse educate, says Still Basilisk. Who knew the finale was going to throw such a curveball? Martin Wallace, I've just realised, is in P13. He's had a cracking qualifier. In fact, I didn't, because I've been so thrown off by the thing, I haven't actually shown you the grid. So let's go through that now. We've got plenty of time to do that. Fabian Siegman and Morgan Burkhardt are on your front row. Matt Sanderson and Jake Cranston row 2, with David Corpus and Stefan Scheller row 3. Stephen King and Eric Mannenfeld are on row 4. Austin Farr and Kieran Dempsey round off your top 10, with John Bailiff and Stephen Fry on row 6. Martin Wallace and Carl Ridley row 7, with Joe Gibson and Sam Van Alst on row 8. Ike LeQuay and Brandon Hughes are your row 9, with Dan Thornton and Jan Weisfanger rounding out your top 20. And on your final row is Arthur Thurtle, Duncan Murray and Alejandro Caraday down in 23rd place. But Arthur Thurtle not currently out there right now. I don't know if he's suffered a disconnect and if he's going to come back. Did that Pulsar's car just get rear-ended on the pace lap? Likely, Andre. Didn't see it, but I heard something. Now that there's some downtime, chat, go see Cult of Luna if you get the chance. Best show I've seen in years. That is Slenderman and Still Basilisk having a chat on Twitch. Chatting away. The pace car will be coming in shortly. This is your final sector. And it looks like Morgan is going to try and force it side by side as they go across the line. Who's going to go first? And the lights are on, and it's green, green, green. Are we going to see any side-by-sides and contact in the background? No, we are not. But down towards turn 1 they go, and Fabian Siegmann has the inside line. Morgan Burkhardt round the outside. There are 3 wide. Morgan Burkhardt loses the rear on the grass, and he's lost a number of positions, but I think he slots back into P4, so he'll get away with that. But Fabian Siegmann leads this race with Matt Sanderson in P2, Jake Cranston P3, Morgan Burkhardt down into P4. That's your championship leader. Eric Mannenfeld is up 3 places up into P5. Stefan Scheller hasn't moved in P6, and David Corpus down 1 is being hounded by the Pulsars cars behind. That is Kieran Dempsey there in P8 with Austin Farr, King and Bailiff behind him. King trying to break late and go around the outside of Austin Farr into the hairpin, but Fabian Siegmann still in the lead. Burkhardt's been let through, and I think there is a crash behind in the hairpin. Or yes, there is. Well, I think maybe everyone's just going a little bit slow. Let's have a quick replay. Has anything happened to Joe Gibson here? Down towards the hairpin he goes. Going to break late. Oh, okay, that wasn't that bad. It was just a concertina effect, little accordion of contact there, but they all keep going. Let's go back live so that we don't miss the action at the front. Fabian Siegmann leading the way. Anderson second. Burkhardt still in P3. Not a big points gap here. It was 38 points, the championship gap between Siegmann and Burkhardt. Currently, 44 points for a win, 41 points for P2, and 37 points for P3. So it's a 7 point gap, I think, actually. 7? I think it's a 7 point gap between Siegmann and Burkhardt. So it goes down to 31 point lead for Morgan. If it stays like this, if he can keep it on track, if he passes Mats Borg Anderson, I think he's done enough. But can he have the pace to win this race? You wouldn't think so with the time that Fabian set in qualifying. That was insane. Kyle Ridley is into the pits for some reason. I wonder if he got a black flag of some sort, maybe on the rolling start. That's unlike Kyle to pit so early. I can't see any issues for him, to be honest. No, scrolled away, got nothing. He pit pretty quickly as well. It was only a 2-second stop. Don't need that time up there. It's 8 laps. Austin Farr and Kieran Dempsey are side by side on the exit of turn 5. All 3 Goldwing cars are in last places, says Andre Mayerek. Yes, they are. No comment. But Carl Ridley had to pit. Not sure what happened to Sam. Martin Wallace down the inside of turn 1, and Sam just going to go too deep on the corner. He goes wide. He's going to get on the sand, on the grass, slides wide, and just disappears. That looked like an Alt F4 to me. Although I think he's still in the session, so it can't have been. I did see Duncan Murray pop up on the timing screen earlier as well. Meatball on the pace lap for Kyle, says Stephen Burns. Oh, well, not sure how he did that. And that's what happened to Duncan. He spun on that curve. You see how it bounced the rear of the Honda. Morgan Burkhardt is absolutely setting the timing screens alight right now. He's got 2 purple sectors, but Mats Anderson has the fastest lap of the race. Morgan Burkhardt fastest in Sector 1 and Sector 2. Fabian Siegmann fastest in Sector 3. And Mats Borg Anderson, fastest in none of the sectors, has the fastest lap of this race for some reason. Morgan Burkhardt did a 49.2, but it's not showing up as fastest, so it must have been 1x'd. But it is technically the fastest lap. Joe Gibson is up into P12. Fry and Wallace have just swapped over, so they are fighting back here. Fry up the inside of turn 3, gets the run down. Morgan Burkhardt, though, not close enough to make a move on Mats into the hairpin this time round, and they continue down towards the chicane. Jake Cranston, a nice little buffer from everyone behind, but it doesn't look like they've got the pace to challenge. Jan Weisfanger, though, fighting it out with Duncan Murray and Brandon Hughes. Where's this? Is this into the hairpin? Duncan Murray on the inside. Jan Weisfanger to hold it around the outside in the purple Honda. Can't quite get it done. Duncan Murray goes through. Up into 18th place goes the South African driver. Jan Weisfanger continues to chase him down in the Meatball Motorsport machine. Throws it into this S. Oh, that'll be a slowdown for Jan Weiswanger, I think. Let's see how he serves this. And does he get in the way of Mr. Brandon Hughes? McQuay has just passed Carraday in P16th as well. Oh, Brandon Hughes has dropped quite far back there. Interestingly enough, into the S's they go again. I wonder how Kyle got a meatball on the pace lap. If they were messing around or not. But your closest people on track right now, Fabian Siegmann has just set the fastest lap, and look at him. Look at him drive off now. This is the gap behind. It's 1.2 seconds. He's going to do all he can today. Stefan Scheller battling it out. Whoa, look at Eric Mannenfeld sliding his car around turn 3. He's going to be under pressure now from the Audi behind. Stefan Scheller has got the run, and now he's got a long straight down towards turn 5. He's in the slipstream. He's right up behind Eric. He's going to pull out to the left-hand side. He's going to have to try and go around the outside of turn 5. What can Eric do here? Can he defend? They're side by side. Eric's going to brake as late as he dares. Corpus is looking down the inside of Stefan Scheller to move up. He does. Austin Farr is going to try and have a look as well. Stefan's going to lose 2 places in one corner. He was having a look. He was being the attacker, and now he's firmly on the defence. Austin Farr is going to be on the inside of the S's. He backs out, slots in behind, plays it smart, tries to stay alive. Corpus, though, up into P6, and now he's going to chase down the Hyundai of Eric Mannenfeld. But Stefan Scheller down the inside of T9. I told him to watch for that in the briefing. If you want to defend that corner, defend early. They're still side by side on exit. Corpus and Scheller, Husingveld versus Lurchus Gaming. And all the meanwhile, Austin Farr sits behind and watches the two having a little dice back there. You can see in the background, Carraday and Murray as well, side by side. Murray gets another move done. He's up into 17th place. He's on an absolute charge. But Kieran Dempsey now challenging Austin Farr, who bounces over the curb. Kieran's got his front wheel alongside Austin's rear. And now the battle continues down towards, I don't even know what part of the track this is. I think it's the next hairpin, and Austin has lost the position. He's down to P9 with Stephen King behind him. Kieran Dempsey charges his way with his beautiful white wheels on that Audi into the chicane. Watch how they bounce over that curb. The Honda of Farr actually looking pretty stable, and looks like he got a run on the Audi through that chicane, but can't get a move done into T1, which is pretty much flat out, I imagine. Maybe a slight lift into that corner, but this little train is the ones that are going to be throwing the entertainment at us. Corpus trying to maximise his run out of turn 3. Turn 4 is technically along this straight, but 5 is the next braking zone. It's flat out all the way down here. Austin Farr will be looking at making a move as well. He's right tucked up behind the Pulsar's car. Corpus looks close. Farr looks close. Who's going to be making a move? Corpus squirreling on the brakes, but Farr down the inside of Dempsey. I think that move's going to be done nice and easy. Up he goes. Stephen King tries to take advantage. The Pulsar's boys, no team orders there for the 3 of them. They're going to start racing. They found themselves together on track so often this season and in this area. So they struggle to make any gains because they're not fighting each other. Brandon Hughes, though. Oh, no. Mats Borg Anderson has dropped down the order somewhat. How did this happen? Bounced over the curb, and that will be a slowdown. He took too much inside curve. Oh. That's a nice little line. Creative. Probably didn't need to do that, but he did it. And that's why Mats Borg Anderson is now down in P4. And Burkhard is up into P2, and now he's got some free air to try and chase down Fabian Siegmann, who is actually not that far up the road as we go on board as he bounces over that final curb under the Magny Cours board and cross over onto lap 6 of 8. 2 laps remain of this first race. Race 19 out of 21. 2 more races after this. And the gap is only going to close by 3 points if it remains as it is. But a slowdown could happen at any point for either driver. But Fabian Siegmann is doing all he can right now. Mats Borg Anderson is very close to Jake Cranston. Jake, who defends in towards turn 5. Mats is going to brake as late as he dares. Down towards the hairpin. He's going to try and get a switch back and maximise his exit. And he might have a little bit of overlap there. This could be a brilliant move from Mats Borg-Andersen, but he taps on the brakes and I think he slots in behind. He doesn't want to risk racing Jake into the next chicane, but that could have been a move of the race, to be honest, up into P3, but he takes it safe. Jake Cranston stays in P3. Everyone continues on their way. Brandon Hughes, I think, had an issue, but he's chasing down Kyle Ridley right now. Fighting Weisswanger in towards the hairpin. Oh, he just goes a little bit deep. And Weisswanger takes that position. Easily done. Not the end of the world. Duncan Murray is still moving on up though. He's actually past Ika Lequay now. He's up into P16 is Duncan. He enjoys this circuit. He said he was having fun in practice. South African driver, and it looks like up the road we see some moves as well. Joe Gibson under pressure from Stephen Fry. Martin Wallace is up into P12 as well. We said he'd peaked earlier in the season with a P9, I think he finished, but it looks like he's having a strong old day today as well. He's in prime position for a potential race 3 reverse if he can hover around this area. Joe Gibson though, oh look at that! That's going to be a slowdown for Joe. He's going to hinder his teammate Dan Thornton. He moves over to the left-hand side to let Dan through. He's going to continue though. Dan Thornton around the outside. And Stephen Fry, ever the opportunist there, now has only technically lost 1 place from where he started. Eric Mannenfeld down the inside of Stefan Scheller, swapping positions these two all the way down that straight, but Stefan's going to try and hold it around the outside. Is the Icelandic driver in the Audi for Team Husikveld versus Street Casuals. Eric Mannenfeld, the Dutch driver. They're going to go side by side down towards the S's. This is going to be risky. Stefan Scheller swoops in, turns into 7 and 8 and leads that fight now towards the next few corners. This fight for P5. You got the battles box down in the corner. Matt Sanderson a little too far up the road, but still right behind Jake Cranston. Throwing it over those curves into the S's. I think Austin Farr had a little bit of a moment there on the exit of that S, and Kieran Dempsey's just moved up into P8. Nice wide exit for Austin there, using all the track he can to try and maximise traction as the cars fly under this bridge. Down towards the next hairpin they go. Bouncing over that chicane. Look at the rear end of that orange Honda fly over that curb. We go on to the final lap now. Fabian Siegmund, Morgan Burkhardt and Jake Cranston. This is where they are as they exit turn 3. Onto that back straight. Sigmund leading the way. The gap 1.1 seconds. It hasn't changed much, but Sigmund trying to break slipstream as they go down the straight. Ika Lequay's had an issue somewhere. It's over the curve. Is he going to do what Duncan did? Bounces, loses the rear, slides. He's going to go towards the wall. Yep, big contact with the wall. Let's go back to your leaders. In fact, we should be watching these two here because Mats Borg-Andersen only 1/10 behind. This is for the final podium spot. 2 Hondas. It's Honda versus Honda. 76 versus 78. Mats Borg-Andersen round the outside of turn 9. He's going to try and get a switch back as it tightens on exit and try and maximise his traction, but Jake is too wise for that. He can't get a nose in there. He's going to be in the slipstream towards the next S. I think this might be his final attempt as they head down towards the chicane. Mats did get a better exit, but there's no sending it through this chicane. It's all going to be about the traction on this little bit of straight. Down towards the next turn. Going to try and break late round the outside. Can he get a better exit on the next straight? Oh, he's tried. He's right behind him. 2/10 the gap. Duncan Murray has had an issue as he's passed Dan Thornton. It's coming up saying he's had an issue, but Mats Borg-Andersen is hounding Jake Cranston right now, but your leaders are coming through the final chicane. It's Fabian Siegmund across the line to take the win. Morgan Burkhardt takes P2. It's a 3-point close, and Mats Borg-Andersen gets the switch back on the exit, but the run to the line is minimal. And there's no opportunity there, unfortunately, for Mats, but it looked like... Oh, felt a little bit sick then. It looked like he might have done that. What a great finish for P3, a 10th between them. As they all start coming across the line. There's a lot of smoke back there. That would be why Jan Weiswanger late on the brakes down the inside of Alejandro Caraday. Didn't pull the move off in the end. Caraday keeps the position. Hughes gains the position. Weiswanger down 2. And we go back to our pace lap for race 2. Do it all over again. Race 20 out of 21. And the gap has closed by 3 points. It's now 35 points, I believe, between Burkhard and Sigmund. Reverse grid for the top 6. Eric Mannitveld and Stefan Scheller are your front row now. Stefan Scheller will be being watched for any team play, but Jake Cranston is also there. Matt Sanderson and Jake Cranston, your second row. Burkhard and Sigmund, row 3. Corpus and Dempsey are row 4. We've got Farr and King on row 5. Bailiff and Wallace, row 6. Stephen Fry and Joseph Gibson on row 7. Duncan Murray and Dan Thornton on row 8. Kyle Ridley and Alejandro Caraday on row 9. And rounding off your top 20 are Brandon Hughes and Jan Weiswanger. Ike Lequay and Sam Van Olst finishing in 21st and 22nd. And Arthur Thurtle, Team SRL, down in 23rd place. Arthur not here. I think he suffered from packet loss, so he didn't last very long. I'm going to keep flashing this up during this pace car lap. Don't forget, you can join us next week for the 2.4 hour of Le Mans for the RLTC finale. No points on offer, just a celebration race. It's free and open to everyone. Scan the big QR code on the left for the sign-up form, or the little one to join the Discord. The sign-up form is also in there. 30 spaces left for the Volkswagen Jetta. Hoping to get at least 50, 60 cars on that grid. Do it. Pass it on to your friends, whether you're watching on VCO eSports or the Racing Line channels. Get it out there. I'll tell you what I can do, but I can only do it if I click on this. No, that's not the camera I wanted. That's the camera I wanted. There we go. How's that for a view? It's going to be a rolling start for all... Oh, you're talking about the Le Mans race, Stephen Burns. Is it also going to be a rolling start? I mean, it's a celebration race, and we normally do something wacky. I mean, if a 2.4 hour race isn't wacky enough, maybe we should do a grid start with the Jettas starting first and then the touring cars behind them. That could be fun. In the hope that people take it sensibly. But no, that would be funny. We could do that. It's a 2.4 hour race, so hopefully people wouldn't make stupid moves. But if there's 50 cars out there, it would be absolute chaos. And it is the historic layout of Le Mans, so there's no chicanes. It's a long, long straight. On top of the pace car, which is not flashing its lights. What's the Jetta's top speed there? I don't actually know. I want to say like 210 kilometers an hour. 187 maybe miles an hour. I'm making it up. You'd think I would know. I don't have a clue. Anyway, we're approaching that final sector. The pace car Getting a little bit twitchy now. These guys, Scheller and Mannenfeld. Mannenfeld leading the way as your pole sitter. And it looks like he is underway. Stefan Scheller looked like he had a bit of a run there as we see people moving left and right. They're going to go 5, 6 wide as they head down towards turn 1. Scheller gets a bit of a bump from Cranston, I think. He's going to try and hold it around the outside. Look at that behind. 4 wide, and that is Stephen King off on turn 1 already and into the wall. That's his race 2 over. He won't be very happy with that, but look at that. Stefan Scheller up into P1. Eric Mannenfeld down into P2. Jake Cranston right behind Mats Borg Andersen. And here comes Morgan Burkhardt and Fabian Sigmund. Side by side, championship rivals. Fabian trying to get the move done, but Mats Borg Andersen is not going to let him through. They're going to go 3 wide down towards the hairpin. Mats Andersen will have the inside line. Burkhardt is the outside car of this 3 wide fight. Can he get switched back? No, because Kieran Dempsey's on the inside. He's going to try and get a nice wide exit for Sigmund up past his championship rival. Dempsey is going to try and get past both of them. Carl Ridley's been off track. Jan Weisfanger's had an incident back there, but Stefan Scheller is leading the way. He was under pressure there. Eric Mannenfeld's gone across the green. That'll be a slowdown. Mats Borg Andersen is going to come through and take that position down the inside of 9. Pushes him out wide. Away he goes. Fabian Sigmund might gain that place on the exit. Gets a little rough and ready down through turn 10. And now down towards the S's they go as Fabian Sigmund is going to go around the outside. That's risky for a championship contender on a non-championship contender. It looks like he's going to have to back out because Eric Mannenfeld is not the type to do so. He slots back into P5. Alejandro Caraday and Carl Ridley in the pits. Carl Ridley not having a great day at Magny, but Stefan Scheller down the inside of the hairpin gets a better exit. Kieran Dempsey's going to try and get a better exit as well and pass Eric Mannenfeld, but Morgan Burkhardt sitting pretty in P7 is currently watching his Husingveld rival. He doesn't have to do much here, Morgan. All he has to do is keep scoring points. Stephen Fry also had an incident there, but Sigmund inside of the chicane bounces over the curb, and that is some awareness from Fabian Sigmund because Eric Mannenfeld's car was all over the place, but somehow Morgan Burkhardt has come through and passed them all, and now he's right behind his championship rival again. Eric Mannenfeld, though, goes from glory, what was it, hero to zero? That's the saying. But Corpus now round his outside. John Bailiff trying to fight as well. There's 3 Hyundais now fighting for the same part of track. John Bailiff runs a little bit wide, just about saves it as he touches the gravel. Fabian Sigmund, though, is about to be passed by Morgan Burkhardt. I'm guessing that is a slowdown. It is a slowdown, and he served it in the right place, so it's going to be no penalty for Fabian Sigmund. And now it's served. Oh, it's 3 wide there as Corpus saves a slide. Can he get back on? I think he can. That was one of those moments where they were 3 wide, and I don't think they knew they were 3 wide as Dan Thornton gets spun around by David Corpus, and around and out goes Dan Thornton into the wall. It's race 2 shenanigans here, and we need to catch up on everything that has happened near the back, but I can't see. Is Mats Borg Andersen close enough to make a move right now? No. So let's see if we can catch up on what happened to everyone behind. Carl Ridley and Alejandro Caraday, that was. They all looked very close there, but Caraday's had a spectacular incident there as he rolls his Honda. That'll be why he went back to the pits. Jan Weisfanger had an issue. Was he involved in the same incident? I don't think so. It shows up that he crashed, but I think that was it. What happened to him? Oh, Duncan looked very close to him then. Oh, yeah, there it is. Tags him round. Stephen King nursing damage. Corpus and Bailiff. Great save from Corpus there, to be honest. And then this is what happened to Dan Thornton. Oh. Clumsy. What happened to John? We will catch back up with the live track action. Because Mats Borg Andersen has passed Jake Cranston. Oh, that's what happened to John. John's was nice and easy. And this is how Mats Borg Andersen did it. I think it's down into T5, late on the brakes. Down the inside goes Mats Borg Andersen. That is for P2. Jake Cranston tries to get the switch back. Meanwhile, Stefan Scheller is trying to drive away from these two. And I think Jake's going to back out of this, slot back into P3 and continue on his way. What's happened to Austin Farr? Broke a bit late, goes really deep, and Fabian Siegmann goes through. Now let's go back live and actually catch up with what is happening right now, because Martin Wallace and Joe Gibson are side by side. Oh, that one nearly ended in contact again. That is your closest fight right now as they come flying through the chicane. Martin Wallace under pressure here. Sam Van Olst shoots across to the left-hand side. Probably got to slow down. Didn't read the briefing, I imagine, but this man fastest on track. Go Martin says tied 3-2-3 in Twitch chat. Martin Wallace is up into P8. It's going to be a season best finish if he can hold it there, but he is under pressure here and he's fighting for his life. Jan Weiswanger has just passed Brandon Hughes in the background, and I think he's about to pass Nicolas Quay. Down the inside of turn 5. Oh, Nicolas Quay's going to try and hold it around the outside. There's a little bit of contact on the rear, and Nicolas Quay keeps that position, and away he goes. Jan Weiswanger trying to tuck him behind, get the exit, and keep the battle going, but he's going to be under pressure from Brandon behind now, who's just a 10th behind this. Into the S's they go. The purple machine and the ZFG machine into turn 9 and 10. And look at the train up ahead of him. That is your fight. Morgan Burkhardt is about to swap places with his teammate. It looks like Jake's about to race him on the exit, but I don't think he is racing him on the exit. But Fabian Siegmann is currently behind Burkhardt, and that is not what the Husqvarna driver wants right now. Who's the best driver on track, says Still Basilisk? Well, you tell me. As Joe Gibson, I think, has just gone down the order a little bit. He's still going down the order. Is he being muscled out back here? Oh, well, that's not how you make that move. Eric Mannenfeld, contact with John Bailiff, and Duncan Murray's going to come through. I think John might have a slowdown, but he's going to serve it in the right place because he's still going. But Eric Mannenfeld slots back on track. Duncan Murray throws it into turn 1. Corpus nearly had a look. Sam Van Olst is still on the back of this little train as they head towards the S's. And who's that in the background? Is that Brandon Hughes throwing his Honda on the gravel there? John has Gibson on the inside. Duncan Murray on the inside as well now, so he's going to have to serve his slowdown on the left because they've all blocked him. Martin has some breathing room now, unless John has already served it, because he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. Duncan Murray on the grass has a look to the inside. If he brakes on the grass, he'll spin. John Bailiff down the inside of Gibson. Duncan Murray around the outside. Gibson to get the switch back. And look at this for a battle on track. Gibson does get the switch back, takes that position back. He's up into P9. John Bailiff now under pressure from Duncan Murray. He's on the inside towards the S's now. Down towards 7 and 8. They do attempt it side by side, and they do make it through. But John Bailiff isn't going to let him have that. He stays in P10. Joe Gibson now with a bit of breathing room. Martin Wallace, though, with all the breathing room he needs. He's got a 4-second gap, and he was coming under pressure a second ago. Stephen King is looking to pass Kyle Ridley. We've seen these two fight before. Not back here, though, in P19 and 20. So these two's races not without issue. Looked like Kyle went a little deep there. Mats Borg Andersen, chasing down your leader as well, is looking for his first victory in the RLTC, guys. Mats Borg Andersen in the Honda. He has the pace, but has he got the skill? He's flashing his lights, and he is piling on the pressure. Mats Andersen for Team ORD is currently in P2. He's had many a podium this season, but he's never had the win. And he's going to go down the inside of turn 3. Mats Andersen, Stefan Scheller on the outside. Through turn 3 they go. He's got the inside line. The Audi doesn't have the pull out of the corner. And Mats Borg Andersen is about to take the lead of this race. He's on the inside line down towards turn 5. Now the Audi seems to have a bit of pull on it, and it's going to try and go around the outside. Side by side they go down towards turn 5, And can he do it? Stefan Scheller trying to hold it on around the outside. Mats Borg Andersen, no, still on the inside line. Who's going to make it to the chicane first? He's not letting go of this lead, is Stefan. The Icelandic driver of 69 squeezes, and Mats Borg Andersen has to back out. Back into P2 he goes. Cuts the curb. Can't quite get the move done. Down towards turn 9. But all this fighting is bringing Morgan Burkhardt into the frame. Mats Borg Andersen goes deep and can't quite get the lead. That is a crying shame, because now he's going to start coming under pressure from your championship leader in P3. Good stuff there from the top two. This fight back here is still very much going on. Joe Gibson looking comfortable in P9. But he's got John Bailiff behind, looking to try and take that from him. Meanwhile, we've got a Goldwing front row for race 3. And with a rolling start, would you trust him? Oh, Sam Van Olst, that was very reactive from Sam there. Contact, crash, Sam Van Olst is out. I jinxed it, he's not starting on the front row anymore. Davy Corpus looks to be out of this race. That'll probably be a penalty for Sam. Looked like a reactive defence very briefly, and it looks like he might have just done the same to Ika Lequay there in the background. As we see what is going on up here, I can't see anything. Oh, there we go. I think someone was blinking. Mats Borg Andersen is back onto the back of Stefan Scheller. He's on board with Morgan Burkhardt. Watching the fight for the lead. It looks like Mats is going to have a look down to turn 5 again. Stefan's gone deep in towards turn 5, and Mats Borg Andersen might have just done it. That was a great send on the brake. Stefan Scheller flashing his lights. I'm not sure why he's flashing his lights. I don't know if there was contact. I don't think there was. Down towards 7 and 8. Mats Borg Andersen is currently leading this race. There's smoke up ahead. I think they're catching back markers soon. If we have a look at the track map, it's Stephen King and Carl Ridley up the road. We've not often seen lapped cars here, but Mats Borg Andersen is currently leading this race for Team ORD. Stefan Scheller in P2 for Husingveld and Morgan Burkhardt in P3, with Cranston and Sigmund behind. Sigmund trying to get past the teammate of Morgan Burkhardt, who will be doing all he can to keep him behind. But Mats Borg Andersen might be on track for his first win ever in the RLTC. It got away from him so many times. He had the most pole positions in Season 1. He nearly won Interlagos in Season 1, but he just couldn't quite do it. It was very close between him and John Bailiff on the line, and he just about took the lead earlier on in this race, but couldn't quite do it because Stefan made him work for it. And we go on to the final lap now as Mats Borg Andersen crosses the line. 8 tenths ahead. Morgan Burkhardt putting pressure on Stefan. He's going to try and go around the outside of T1. Gets the switch back towards turn 3. Oh, I'm joking. Look at these two. Side by side through 3. Burkhardt can't do it around the outside there. Can he get the exit on the switchback? No, he cannot. What was I looking for? I was going to have a look at the replay of Mats Andersen passing Stefan Scheller. And there definitely wasn't contact. It was, Stefan just went a little bit deep. So he might be flashing his lights in celebration for the ORD win that might be happening very shortly. Sigmund is past Cranston. How did he do that? Fairly easily, to be honest. Well, I say that from looking at that. I don't know if it was easy. Into the final chicane, and he's got the move done. And Austin Farr then putting pressure on Cranston, trying to get the move done down the inside of turn 1, but I don't think he can do it. Cranston's going to hold it around the outside. Throws his Honda around the outside of the Street Casuals Honda and slots back into that position. Let's go back live to watch this final momentous occasion of Mats Borg Andersen, who is currently leading the way in this race. This is Stefan Scheller, the Icelandic 69 driver for Team Husingveld, entering the final section of this racetrack. Behind him is Morgan Burkhardt, who's very close. But Mats Borg Andersen for Team ORD, he's done it! He's flashing his lights and he's taken his first win in the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega in partnership with VCO eSports. The 76 ORD car should be flashing his lights way more than that. He has absolutely worked for this. It's been a whole year since Matt Sanderson has joined us, and here he is at Magny, the first time round the French circuit, taking his first win here in the Touring Car Championship on the racing line. Andre Mayerek is celebrating in chat. You should all be celebrating across the 4 channels because he has worked for that. There he is. Look, there he goes. Now he's a happy man. Are we going to see any donuts from that man? Because we normally do from someone who's been waiting such a long time. He's going to do it straight away. He's found a donut zone. Here he goes. Front wheel drive, of course, so you have to do your donuts in reverse. Joe Gibson going to join him there. His Team ORD teammate in the Audi. They're going to try and get a picture. And he's gone. Well. Well. The time ticks over. Into your break, your warm-up break. You got 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before we head for our final race here in France at Magny. Race 21 out of 21. Round 7 out of 7. And the sun is indeed setting on the second season of the Racing Line Touring Car Championship. Vince 10-11-10 in Twitch chat says a bit late to the party. He sees only a little bit, but we got 1 race left, Vince. I will say the starts are a little bit different than usual by mistake. They've been rolling starts tonight. But they've been fairly without issue. Apart from Carl Ridley, who suffered a meatball on the formation lap in race 1 somehow. In fact, let's catch Vince up on Twitch chat and have a look at the results of our race 19 and 20. So race 1, or race 19 for round 7, race 1 of this round looked a little bit like this. Fabian Siegmann, your championship contender, closed the gap to Morgan Burkhardt by 3 points by taking the win. First place for Fabian, Morgan Burkhardt P2, Jake Cranston P3, and all sports double podium with Matt Sanderson in P4. Stefan Scheller was P5 with Eric Mannitveld P6, Corpus P7, Dempsey P8, Austin Farr P9, and Stephen King in P10. The rest of the order was as follows. It was John Bailiff in P11, Martin Wallace got P12, Stephen Fry P13, Joe Gibson was P14, Duncan Murray in the top 15. Thornton and Ridley in 16th and 17th, Carraday in 18th, Hughes in 19th, Jan Weisbanger in 20th, Ika Lequay in 21st, with Sam Van Olst and Arthur Thurtle rounding off your field, but Arthur and Sam not really doing much of the race. Your race 2 looked like this though. And this is where it starts to change. So the gap went down to around 35 points in that race. And then it looks a little bit different now. I think the gap actually goes back up to 37 points after this second race. So for Fabian to take the championship in the next race, Morgan would need to finish last, which would be 22nd. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's about 8 points. In fact, I think it might be done. I think it might be done. Even if Morgan finishes last and Fabian wins, although it could be decided on fastest lap points. I didn't see who's been getting the fastest lap. But if Morgan finishes last and gets 8 points, and Fabian wins and gets 44, 36 points the gap, and it could be 37. So it could be, in the unlikely event that Morgan does finish last, it could be decided by a fastest lap for Fabian Sigmund. I didn't take into account who got pole position. I think the gap might be 38 points. I think this might be done for the championship. This might just be a little fun race, but don't count my maths because I'm not very good. Anyway, Mats Andersson takes his first win in Racing Line history for Team ORD by a second. And boy, did he have to work for it. Stefan Scheller putting up a great defence in P2 with Morgan Burkhardt in P3, being held off by the Husingveld driver. Fabian Sigmund made it up into P4 in the end, past the All-Sports driver of Jake Cranston. Austin Farr P6 for the Hondas, Kieran Dempsey up into P7 with Martin Wallace with an RLTC best finish of P8 and not gifted by a penalty like his P9 was. He finished P10 earlier in the season, got bumped up into P9 thanks to a penalty, and now he gets a P8. Will there be any penalties for anyone above that position? Unlikely, but could be possible, but still P8 nonetheless. Well done, that man. John Bailiff and Joe Gibson P9 and 10, with Duncan Murray and Eric Manikveld in P11 and 12. Stephen Fry just misses out on reverse pole in P13, with Sam Van Olst in P14 after that. Well, over driving, it has to be said, from Sam Van Olst there at the end of race 2. Ike Lequay P15, Jan Weiswanger P16. David Corpus was a casualty in Sam Van Olst's driving in P17. Dan Thornton P18. Stephen King, who is off the track on the first lap, is in P19 with Carl Ridley down there keeping him company in P20. Brandon Hughes 21st. Caraday 22nd, and Arthur Thurtle 23rd. Did not come back after his connection issue. And there you have it. That is your update. Kieran Dempsey's out on track. There's 5 seconds left of this break. Liz creates in YouTube chat, says whoop whoop, well done Mats and Team ORD. Oh, unbelievable stuff. Thank you all for joining us so far throughout the season. Whether you've been watching on VCO eSports, YouTube and Twitch, and the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch. It's been a great season so far. Shorter season than season 1, but no shortage of action. I'm aware the music is still on, Biggie. We've got a full formation lap to go. Thank you for that. Yes, Vince, full formation lap. Go. We've got plenty of time to get through your grid. As we go through this final formation lap of the Racing Line Touring Car Championship, powered by GT Omega in partnership with VCO eSports. Kakla will be getting some nice sunset pictures as the sun sets on Season 2, 2023 season of the Racing Line Touring Car Championship. Let's just listen to these touring car engines one more time. In fact, now that Vince is here, he wouldn't have seen our perfect advertisement that we've been doing all the way through this event. This one The 2.4 hour of Le Mans for the RLTC, the celebration race next week, which is open to all drivers on iRacing. It's free, there's no points on offer, it's just a fun event, it is solo. Scan that big QR code to sign up and drive the Volkswagen Jetta around the beautiful Le Mans circuit with our very own RLTC grid that you see racing here tonight and have been watching throughout the season. If you have been watching throughout the season, what has been your favourite moment so far? Do you have a favourite moment? Do you have a favourite driver? Do you have a favourite team? Who has impressed you the most this season? Is it potential two-time RLTC champion Morgan Burkhardt? Who took advantage of those early races that Fabian was finding his feet? Is it Fabian Siegmann, who come in last minute and put a sterling challenge on to last year's champion? Is it Mats Borg Andersen for getting his first win in Racing Line history? Is it Martin Wallace for getting a P8? A season best result? Who knows? Beautiful shot that. UK time zone is the 8 PM, Vince. Great question though. Did not put that on there, I don't think. Or did I? No, I did not. Anyway, it is nearly time to start this race. I didn't go through your grid. Do I have time to do it now? Let's have a quick go. Eric Manninveld, Duncan Murray, front row. Bailiff and Gibson, second row. Wallace and Dempsey, Farr and Cranston, row 4. Sigmund and Burkhardt on row 5. Scheller and Mats Andersen on row 6. Fry, Vernolst, Lequay, Weiswanger, Corpus, Thornton, King, Ridley, Hughes, Caraday and Thurtle is your grid for today. As they come round, the pace car is in. Manninveld, I think, has been here before. Was he here in the last race? I feel like he started on pole position in race 2. And away they go. He's got Duncan Murray for company there. And they're all going to go 4-5 wide once again as they go down towards the main straight. The rolling starts have been quite entertaining, to be fair. I'm not sure if the grid starts would have been as entertaining as they all get shuffled through that turn 1. The very fast turn 1. And then the long sweeping right-hander of turn 3. And it looks like we have a full survival. As I say that, there's someone off track. It's Kyle Ridley in the Goldwing Hyundai. He went way, way off on the gravel on the exit as they all head down towards the hairpin of turn 5. Bailiff is in P3. Has he sniffed his chance? His only chance, his last chance of a race win here. Eric Manninveld, making a little bit of a mistake on the exit, is now under pressure, but Murray has been passed. Bailiff up into P2 as he now chases down the street casuals machine of Eric, who absolutely bounces over that curb. Carl is not having a good morning tonight, says Andre Mayerek. Nice oxymoron, morning tonight. Which makes sense because Carl is our resident Australian driver here on the grid. And as we say that, we're looking at the South African behind Duncan Murray. Where has John Bailiff gone? He was here. And he's there alongside Eric Manninveld, putting the pressure on. But he's on the outside of the next corner. Oh, weaves in towards turn 10 and 11, I think that is. Or 12, 13, I don't know. I've lost track of the corner names. Into the next corner they go. And Duncan Murray is now under pressure from Fabian Siegmann, who's up into P3 already, potentially. The 2.4 hour is solo, Vince. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, which isn't exactly 2.4. But it looks the closest to 24 hour we could get as Eric bounces over the curve and tries to fend it as much as he can, and Siegmann goes on the inside of the chicane side by side, and Siegmann goes up into P2. John Bailiff loses out to the Husqvarna driver, and now Manninveld is going to have the fastest man out there on his tail any day now. As we see Duncan Murray and John Bailiff go side by side. Duncan will be enjoying this fight. He's loving life, but he's slid his Honda. He's still sliding, drifting round turn 3. Gets back on the circuit. Jake Cranston tries to find a gap. Does find a gap, and Duncan loses place after place. Scheller can't get through. Burkhardt might be able to get through. Duncan Murray could slot back in front of him. No, too late now because Burkhardt's got his car there. So Murray right over to the left-hand side of the circuit. Can he hold it around the outside of Burkhardt into turn 5? Joe Gibson on the apex goes a little bit slower. But Murray's going to try it. He's got the better run on the exit. They rub doors. Joe Gibson up the road giving him slipstream. But Murray's going to try not to give this up. He's got the championship leader next to him. Can he get it into the next corner? He can. He chucks it in. He's going to cut the curb. He goes round. Morgan Burkhardt's been touched. Is there damage? Morgan Burkhardt makes contact with Duncan Murray, but I think his car is okay. Let's go on board with your championship leader. He makes contact with Martin Wallace. That will throw him off a little bit. I wonder if he knows the points situation, though. He might be okay. Peter Ridley's in chat, says, go on, Duncan. I can't tell if Morgan's got damage or not. His steering wheel looks fine, but that will be exactly what Fabian needed. If Morgan actually finishes last and Fabian wins, this will be insane because I won't know the points and we'll have to wait till next week to find out who's champion. But at the moment, with Morgan in P10 and Fabian in P2, do you know what? Morgan has got a meatball. That car is slow. He's got damage. Unless that was a slowdown. He didn't go into the pits. I think it was just a slowdown. I think he's okay. He's down in P12 right now. Although the car sounds slow, I don't know if that's just the placebo effect. He missed the apex himself by a country mile, says Cackler. I think he's talking about Burkhardt. Oh, Kieran Dempsey. Big swapper on there on the exit of turn 1. He's still losing the rear in towards turn 3. And Morgan's going to get 2 for 1 here as Kieran Dempsey and Sam Van Olst fighting it out in the Audis. Morgan goes past both of them straight back up into P10. Chases down Martin Wallace, who's still in P9. Scheller is just about to pass Mats Anderson around the outside of the straight down towards turn 5. These two have continued this fight for a little while. Scheller cuts his nose off. Mats goes around the outside of this corner, cuts him tight towards the apex, tries to keep his nose there. It is still there. Scheller moves over. He can't quite shut the door. Mats Borg Anderson and Scheller providing entertainment tonight. Down towards turn 6 and 7. Or 7 and 8. 6 and 7. 7 and 8. This is turn 9. I know that much. Turn 10 is on the exit of this. And Scheller keeps that position. Fabian Siegmann. There's purple sectors all over the place up here. Eric Mannenfeld going up as the fastest valid lap. But your fastest man on circuit is actually this guy, Austin Farr, in P3. Eric Mannenfeld will be trying to hold up Siegmann as best he can because his teammate is definitely going to get involved in this fight. He's trying to defend as much as he can from Fabian Siegmann in Team Husingveld, but look at the run the Hyundai is going to have now. Down towards the next corner. Mannenfeld down the inside. He's still there. He's still there. Siegmann tries to go around the outside. Mannenfeld's not going to let him have it. Down through the chicane they go side by side. That's going to be risky. Mannenfeld should get a better exit because they were side by side. Farr's going to have a hell of a run. Down the main straight they go as they cross the line. Eric's going to retake the lead. And Farr is going to swoop round the outside of turn 1 into P2. It's a street casuals 1-2. But Fabian's not going to let it go. Holds it round the outside of turn 3. Can he get the run on the exit of this corner down the long straight towards turn 5? Cranston is starting to come into this fight as well. And here's where we'll see the difference between the cars. The Hyundai used to be stronger on the straights. They've had a BOP update. Stephen Burns says no meatball. Kakula says Murray, yeah, I believe it. Jake's all over on the grass there. That won't be a slowdown. I think I actually tested that. But now he's going to try and brake as late as he dares into turn 5. Can't get it done. Fabian Siegmann has to slot in for P3. And Street Casuals, the orange machines, are in P1 and 2 right now on lap 4 of 8. Can they hold this for that amount of time with two of the fastest drivers on track behind them? It will be a hell of a feat. In fact, I'm going to do this now because I'm going to forget this. Vote your driver of the days, people. That link that I have posted across all 4 chats, all 2 Twitch channels and 2 YouTube channels, that link will take you through to a list of all 30 drivers. All you have to do is click your favourite and vote for them for driver of the day. Mats Borg Anderson still currently the top of my list, but these two, Eric and Austin Farr, would be strong contenders if they can hold on to this for the rest of this race, because Fabian is not going to sit there Martin Wallace currently trying to better his best, says tied in chat. He's currently in P7. He's got Scheller and Dempsey behind. I feel like this is where the move is going to be. Fabian Siegmann is all over him. All over the back of Austin Farr. Throws it into turn 3, lap 5 of 8. There's been a few crashes and a few issues down the grid. Just can't take my eyes off this fight. Fabian Siegmann down the inside of turn 5. Tries to brake as late as he can. There's contact there with the Hyundai and the Honda. That's what happens when they are on the absolute limit. Fabian Siegmann flashing his lights there. I don't know if that's an apology or an annoyance. But Mats Borg Andersen looks like he's about to pass John Bailiff in the background as well. Down the inside towards the S's. John Bailiff is not one to back out of moves. They try and go side by side. They do. And John keeps the position. Ika Lequay and Stephen King were some of the issues earlier on in this race. Iku lost his rear, made contact with Stephen. Same place Stephen went off last time. Big contact for these two. Round Ika goes, and Stephen, where's he? So he just managed to park up on track, but his rear wheel looks very broken. I'm guessing they both went into the pits. Stephen King did jump to the pits. Ika Lequay had another issue. Joseph Gibson had an issue at some point as well. By himself. Yep, bounces over the curb, and it spits him off. It's a big one for Joe Gibson, straight into the wall. Stephen Fry had an issue as well. Fabian Siegmann is up into P2, so we'll see how he got past Austin and whether that will continue. Whoa, Stephen throws it down turn 1. Corpus slides it through as well. I don't know how he saved that. Stephen Fry. Whew. Sam Van Alst and Kieran Dempsey has had an issue as well. Sam Van Alst getting those final race blues. Oh dear. Saves it. Still alive. Carries on. Let's go back live. In fact, I say that. Let's just have a look at how Fabian got past Austin in the end. I think it's on the exit of this corner. Look at the drive the Hyundai gets out of that turn. And that move will be done pretty much before they get to the next corner. Yeah, just slots back in front. And Fabian Siegmann is released into the final hairpin. But he's going to have to try and pass Eric Mannenfeld all over again. I think he might be trying to do it right now as they go side by side in towards turn 9. Eric can't do anything about it. He's a sitting duck, but he's going to get the run out through 10 and have the inside into the next corner. Oh, there's contact there as Eric leans on Fabian Siegmann. Into the next corner they go, and I think Fabian has to back out. There's more contact. Fabian, all sorts of squirreling, door to door. Jake Cranston down the inside of Fabian. Austin Farr around the outside is going to get screwed on that line. 3 wide, and Jake Cranston goes up into P2. Now, Eric Mannenfeld, though, still in the lead of this race for the Orange Street Casuals team. Austin Farr will be frustrated with that because he was in a perfect position to capitalise on all of that until he was forced on the outside of a 3-wide fight into a tight hairpin. And now, Fabian Siegmann is going to want to try and pass Jake Cranston. Morgan Burkhardt is not making many gains down there in P9. I don't know if I've incorrectly worked out the points. I don't know if this is actually making a difference to the championship. 38 points was a big gap as Fabian sticks his nose down the inside of turn 3. Jake Cranston shuts the door. Austin Farr looks like he's got a better run. Not quite sure if that is the case. But your battles box looks a little bit like this. Joe's had an issue. Oh, we already watched that. He bounced over the curb and into the wall. Austin Farr weaves out to have a look at Fabian. Doesn't make the move. I think if I was Austin, we're on lap 7 of 8. I would try and capitalise on when Fabian tries to make a move on Jake Cranston in this situation here. But your top 4 looking closer than ever. John Bailiff has come out on top in the fight with Mats Borg Andersen behind. Stefan Scheller is still there. Corpus and Dan Thornton have gone off track. The lights are on. The sun is setting. Fabian Siegmann round the outside of Jake Cranston. Jake Cranston's going to try and move over on him, but Fabian Siegmann down the inside of 10. Now they're going to head towards the S's side by side again, and now this is where what was I going to say? This is where Farr can take advantage of something and try and get a move done. And I think he might be trying to go around the outside of Cranston. And I don't think Cranston's going to let it happen. And now, this is where the fun begins, because Eric Manenfeld is under all sorts of pressure all over again. Your final lap of Magny Cours, your final lap of the RLTC Championship 2023. Morgan Burkhardt, likely your champion, down in P9. Fabian Siegmann, your contender, is in P2, fighting for another victory to take the most wins of the season. Eric Manenfeld, though, is putting up a fight for his first win. This looks like it could be it, though. Jake Cranston is trying to defend off Austin Farr for a double Street Casuals podium. And they're going to be nose to tail. It's nose to tail all the way. Both orange cars are either being pushed or being the pusher. Fabian Siegmann round the outside of 5. Can't do it through there. But he can get the switch back on the exit. And he's going to have the inside for the next turn. Dan has gone from P12 to the pits. He has had an incident there with someone. I don't know if that was Corpus. Eric Manenfeld round the outside of chicane. He tries to hold it. That might be a slowdown, and they do go side by side through there. That was insanely close. There's contact there. Manenfeld and Siegmann make contact through 9. Jake Cranston's going to try and come through. Austin Farr's lost a bit of pace. It's the final lap. Manenfeld, do or die for that man. It is 1/10 between them as they go down towards the next corner, and Siegmann is going to have a look. He backs out of it, slots back into P2. Through the next chicane they go, down towards the second to last turn. Cranston looks like he's got a run. Manenfeld on the inside. Siegmann tries to cut his nose off and get a better run down the exit. Manenfeld is trying all he can. Siegmann's going to get a better run. Down towards basically the final turn, because the chicane, there's nothing doing through there. But Manenfeld on the inside line. He just needs to get the exit. There's contact. Siegmann slides. Cranston's going to come through. Can he get it down into the chicane? Manenfeld turns in. Cranston can't get it done. Austin Farr's going to try and get the run. And Manenfeld crosses the line in P1. Austin Farr, P3. Cranston comes home in P2. It's a double Street Casuals podium with Siegmann dropping down to P4. But that, you can guarantee that will be looked at in the steward's room afterwards for potential race-altering results for someone. And I don't know who, but it could be. It could just be. I don't think it'll affect the championship, but it may affect the result of the final race, and we won't find that out until the celebration race next week. 30 spaces open for the Jetters. Pass it round to your iRacing friends. It's open to everyone. It is broadcast. There'll be 2 commentators. Not me. I will be racing, but there'll be 2 commentators in the box for you for that 2.4 hours. It will be streamed here on the Racing Line and VCO eSports. I agree with Kakula from what I saw. I do think Siegmann turned in early there to try and hold him tight from first viewing, but we'll watch, of course, all the angles as usual. What a season. What an absolute season. And what a way to finish it. The Street Casuals pair absolutely putting on a show. And I'm a little bit... I'm not meant to be biased. But I am a little bit... I'm a little bit upset that it wasn't a 1-2 for these boys, because that was absolutely brilliant stuff. Don't forget to vote for your driver of the day. Use that link. Helen Brown in chat says, well done, Morgan. Kakula says the sunset was too early. Well, the sun has set on the season. The headlights are on. It got dark. You had your chance. I'm sure you got some beautiful pictures, Kakula. I'm only joking. But that man, Eric Manenfeld, is about to celebrate. We've had 2 new winners tonight, which is pretty insane when you think about it. And when I say insane, the reason I say that is because we had 7 different winners across the season. Fabian Sigmund, 7 wins to his name before today's round. And he did win one of the other races, no? Or am I making that up? He won the first one. So that's 8 wins in total for that man. Morgan Burkhardt won the other race. That puts him on 5. Jake Cranston had 2. Dan Mould had 2. Stefan Scheller had 1. David Corpus had 1. Arthur Thurtle had 1. Mats Anderson today grabbed 1, making it 8 winners. Eric Manenveld grabs 1, making it 9 winners in 21 races, 7 rounds, 7 different circuits, 9 different winners across the season. We saw 3 different people on pole position. Burkhardt, Sigmund and Dempsey. Dempsey, the only one not in a Hyundai to claim pole position. Not including tonight's winners. In fact, it does include them because they've been on the podium before. Have Manenveld and Anderson and Farr and Cranston. But 17 podium sitters over those 21 races. "17 podium sitters. Sigmund 9, which will be up after this round. Burkhardt 8, Thurtle 4, Cranston 4, Farr 3, King 3, Anderson 3, Mould 2, Vanolst 2, Manenveld 2, Fry 2, Scheller, Corpus, Draper, Bailiff, Perschke and Dempsey all got 1. Podiums by manufacturer before today's round. Hyundais had 27, Hondas had 21. The Audi had a mere 6 podiums this season. The fastest lap award before this round, Sigmund had 11, Burkhardt 3, Mould 2, Scheller and Draper had 1 each. Driver of the days, Burkhardt had 4, Corpus and Sigmund had 1 each. Your highest scorer of any of the rounds was Sigmund in round 5 with 131 out of 136 points. I'm going to post the link one more time. Kakala says, so who was the champion now? Well, realistically, I haven't done the maths, but I am fairly certain, regardless of penalties and whether Sigmund moves back up, I am fairly certain that Morgan Burkhardt is your Season 2 reigning 2-time RLTC champion for all sports racing. He done it again. He's absolutely done it again. It was a tough one in Season 1. It was very, very close. Very feisty. And a questionable end. But there's no doubt about this one. Even though he had his issues there in the final race of the season, the gap just too big for Sigmund to close, I think, in the end. But what a show these guys put on. But there he is. Morgan Burkhardt, the #1 car, is your Season 2 RLTC champion. We'll get through to the interviews. And we've probably got a few people to speak to today, to be honest. Let's go back to the start of that race. In fact, I just want to see one thing. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy seeing this. I want to know what happened to Dan Thornton. Because Dan was having a good race. And was it to do with Corpus? Corpus and Dan having a solid race. Oh no. Sam Vanolst taking out 2 Hyundais there from a strong result. What place were they in at that time? And that's Dempsey behind, so they were in a strong position, these two. None of the Hyundais at fault there. Big impacts for both of the Hyundai. drivers. Oh, look at Thornton's wheel being dragged under the cart. Where did Dempsey finish? Dempsey finished in P13, so you got to say that's probably a top 10 for those two. Sam will probably lose a lot of points for that, I'm sure. Clumsy move. Yeah, you can see the number in the windows. So Dan Thornton was in P12 at the time. Yes, Kakala, I can see it. I've seen it. Aaron Lee Martin, he did that on purpose. He could have backed that out. He could have backed out of it. Chose not to. The old Sam Van Olst showing his racecraft again there. It's a shame because he'd had massive improvements. I don't want to watch the pace car. Where's the start of the race before we do the interviews? Started? Is this the start? I think this is the start. No? Still going. Oh my god, how long was the pace lap? Still? No way. Green flag. Found it. Right. Now let's do interviews. Who is lining up? Who's lining up in that? Well, I know who I want to speak to first, and that is Mats Anderson for Team ORD. He's done it. Round 7 on his final chance in Season 2. It's Mats Anderson, race winner. Mats Anderson. How does that sound?
That sounds like retirement. No, yeah, it's really awesome. Finally, it's on the record books. Finally.
It is finally there, and you had to earn it. It wasn't easy by the looks of it. You had Stefan Scheller. You were fighting Stefan Scheller the whole way. It looked like you nearly had him into turn 3, and then the fight continued. Tell us your mindset through there, because you were so close to taking the lead at one point, and then you just got it back. But you somehow closed the gap again, and then had another attempt. How was that fight for you?
It was intense. I think I've never been sweating this much doing sim racing. The mindset was I know the Audi, like on that straight I changed gears 2 times and he didn't change 1 gear. So the Audi got the legs basically on the Honda. So yeah, I had to do it on the brakes. Lap 6 didn't really work out. Again, too strong of exit on the Audi. Lap 7. A little bit more cautious through turn 3 there, and then just try to brake as smooth and as late as possible, and then for some reason it just worked out there. So, and then try to breathe and remember to change gears and hit my marks to just get the win there.
We saw him flash his lights after you got the move done. Was that a appreciation flash?
You have to ask him. I don't know. I don't feel I did anything wrong there. So
no, it was a tight fight between the two of you, and I'm sure a very popular win. In fact, I haven't had a look at the Driver of the Day vote yet. Let me have a look, just in case you are.
It's probably not. No, it's not me.
It's not you.
No, I'm not going.
Haven't got enough fans. No. Oh, it's close, you know. I might leave it open and try and fix the vote, because I've been accused of that before. Come on, guys, get your votes in. Oh, I'll put the poll out one more time. Basically, one driver. There's 35% of the votes to one driver and 29% to you. One vote would make it even.
It's probably someone who did better than me that deserves it. So yeah.
Well, I know who my vote is, but I won't fix the vote. I won't fix it. Anyone can. Oh, saying that, it has just gone even. Oh, and now, oh no, I have fixed it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Morgan. He's had 4 Driver of the Days this season. He won't mind, and he's champion.
Yeah, he can give away.
Mats Anderson has taken.
He can give away one.
Mats Anderson has taken the lead in the Driver of the Day vote, 7-6. No, congratulations, Mats. It was well deserved, and it's been a long time coming. And I'm sure. Well, I look forward to hearing if there was any radio messages of congratulatory enthusiasm from the other drivers, because I know they've been waiting for you to do it as well.
And the bingo card also has waited.
The what?
The bingo card.
Yeah, the bingo card has waited. Yeah. You're right. Just before I let you go, as usual, is there anyone that you want to say hello or thank you to?
I want to say thank you to Dan and John for letting me race the Honda Civic Type R for ORD this season. It has been really fun. Both had a little bit not a little bit, heaps of unlucky moments through the season, but hopefully we can do this next year also. And thank you to my wife for letting me do this again late at night, and you, Jack, for showing up 6 out of 7 rounds.
Oh, thank you for that. Well, it's a pleasure as always, Mats, and I'll speak to you soon. There goes new race winner Mats Anderson, calling me out for not turning up to one round this season for the first time in 5 seasons, guys. Come on. It was bound to happen eventually, maybe one time. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't have happened. Let's bring in this man who, I mean, potentially maybe under investigation or potentially not. I don't know, but it looked bloody exciting and we all enjoyed the fight, that's for sure. It's another new race winner here. It's Erik Mannitveld for Street Casuals. How was that?
Nerve-wracking, to be honest. I was literally shaking when I crossed the line because he was on my ass all of the race. I think he started like somewhere in 10th position, and I saw like people behind me on the relative. I thought I could keep him behind me as long as the faster guys don't catch up too fast. And then after one lap, he already called me. So I was thinking, oh, that's it. I want to be able to keep ahead of him, but my teammate Austin really helped me by defending like a lion. And then in the last couple of laps, I felt like he kind of turned in on me. So I'm hoping it won't be a penalty and just dragged it over the line, fortunately.
I mean, it was great to watch, and it was very close between the two of you, and absolutely with the amount of time you had to keep him behind. I mean, you just have to look at the race win results to know that Fabian's no slouch. He's won many races this season. And it looked like at one point, I mean, I was rooting. I know I meant to be unbiased, but I was rooting at one point for a Street Casuals 1-2.
Yeah.
It just, Austin just couldn't quite keep him behind. Jake Cranston getting involved. And it looked, I think Austin's perfect opportunity. They went 3 wide into a hairpin, but Austin was the one on the outside. It just didn't quite work. Nearly got him at the end, though. Very close between Jake and Austin there on the chicane. But no, it was a great race, and of course a great win for yourself. That is your first win? I'm not making that up, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So
2 new race winners tonight. Magny Cours, a track that you want to come back to?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed it also already before the win. So, and this makes it even better. So I think I'll have fond memories of this track.
Great news. Great to speak to you, Erik, as well. It's been a while, but here you are in the winner's room. Is there anyone, before I let you go, that you want to say hello or thank you to?
Well, thanks to you for hosting the championship. It was fun again this season, and thanks to my mom, of course, for giving me this opportunity. I don't know. Thank you.
No worries, Erik. Speak to you soon. There he goes, the Dutch driver on the grid. Erik Mannitveld drove a little bit like a famous Dutch driver in that race. Absolutely, I can't get over that fight at the end. What a finish. Just catching up on Discord. Fabian Sigmund says rolling start, ? That was earlier on. Yep, I did that by accident. Sorry. One more interview, and it has to be the one. It has to be your man, Zippy the Wonder Slug, Morgan Burkhardt, Season 2, 2023 RLTC champion for All Sports Racing. That one was a bit tense, no?
Yeah, I was going into race 1 and race 2. It's just like I will just finish next to Fabian, try and ease the gap down a little bit, and then race 3, he rocket sledded from 9th to 2nd in like a lap and a half, and I bounced between 8th and 14th for the entire race. So it was like try to balance risks without taking too many.
100%. And it was hard to do the maths on the fly. I think you entered that final round with enough of a gap to be able to finish last because of the missing people and Fabian win. But it would have been like a 1 point win if that was the case. And then when we saw Duncan come across your nose, that's just we were like, I thought the car was done because it looked. I'm guessing you had a slowdown or some sort, but I thought the car was broken at one point. And I was like, no way is this about to happen. Fabian's in P2, Morgan's down in P12. It's happening all over again. Is he going to bottle it? But no, you stayed there. Was it difficult to come back up? You were in P sort of, like you said, 8 to 10 for a while. Was that pretty much it? Just sort of hovering around those cars, or was it just a lot of racing back there? Because we were too busy focusing on the top 4.
Well, after I think it was lap 2 or 3 in the chicane, and I got a little bit of front left wheel damage, so it handled really wonkily through right-hand corners, especially turn 1, and a little bit of air damage, but it wasn't too bad. And yeah, it was. I wanna pass this guy, but I don't want to take a big risk and send it, and maybe it doesn't work. Maybe I hit him. Maybe I get a penalty. That kind of thing. And it was really tough racing back there. So yeah, it was difficult to come up and progress through the field, but it's still at the same time it was a lot of fun.
That's great to hear. It looked fun. It did look fun. Talk us through. Obviously, you had a teammate out there at the same end of the field with you. Was Cranston? Has he been helpful throughout these last few rounds? He's been doing his best he can. I think he gifted a win, or he gifted a position a few times in the last few rounds. Is it just communication between the two of you better than ever? And on to the next championship that you're going to fight each other for, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have really good chemistry, so it works really well. He, especially towards the end of the season, has been my emotional support and kind of at some points yelling at me to calm down, but that's what's needed. So yeah, he's been awesome this season. I don't think I could have done it without him. But yeah, I mean, he's always been awesome. He's one of the reasons why I won season 1. You gotta give this one to him as well. So I really gotta thank him big.
No worries. It's great to speak to you once again, Morgan, and congratulations on another championship to your name. That's 2 touring cars and a Jetta championship. I keep forgetting that you won season 3, of the Jettas. There you go. Three championships to your name. Oh, we've just seen the crash with Duncan on screen again. That was a big one. You are lucky that front wheel didn't break with that. That was an impact. But there you go.
Yeah.
It was a good racing as always. Before I let you go, if you're going to thank the grandparents, thank the sponsors, I'll let you do your thing.
Of course. I'd like to thank my grandparents and my parents for making all this possible, providing me with the tools that I need. Jake, of course, for kind of bending over backwards at some points to help me, and really got to dedicate that one to him. This championship to him. And the rest of the team at James for always being supportive and helping each other through things. So yeah, it's been a good season.
No worries. Thank you very much. I nearly called you Austin then. That was weird. Thank you very much, Morgan. Pleasure speaking to you as always, and congratulations for one last time. See you later.
Thank you.
There he goes. Your Racing Line Touring Car Champion. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, this poster. Scan that QR code to sign up to the final celebration races. No points on offer. The RLTC grid will be there, or most of them. Some people will be on holiday, but most of them will be there. And there's 30 Jettas. It's a free event. It's round Le Mans. It's 2.4 hours. Solo drive. It will be broadcast. I will be racing as well, and I hope to see you all there. Pass this around, all your iRacing friends, SimLab fans. and anyone that wants to say goodbye to the Jetta properly in a one last big hurrah, because it's no longer in official races. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. I want to thank all the drivers who have taken part in this season, whether they were in this final round or not. Every single one, all 30 drivers for taking part in this season. All 10 teams for making it what it is. And biggest congratulations to your top two, Morgan Burkhardt and Fabian Siegman, who had a great battle up until the final round. It wasn't settled. And well, thank Team Husingveld for dropping in that final 10th team last minute. Thank all the teams, All Sports Racing, Street Casuals, Team ORD for their first win, Street Casuals with their first win for Eric Manitveld and Mats Anderson. ZFG, top 10 finishes for Martin Wallace today, Goldwing, Meatball Motorsport, Lurchus Gaming, of course, who have been with us from the start. Who have I missed? Pulsus eSports and Team SRL, who joined us this season, weren't here for the final round. All 3 cars missing today. But I'm sure, well, I hope to see them return. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.